Report story. Deku's paw. I stare down at the brown orbs that were staring up at me. Ochako. Why is she here? Did we make any study plans for tonight? I don't believe so. Ochako was blushing heavily and looked like she was trying to find her words. I look away from her eyes with more difficulty than I'd like to admit and look down at the tray she was holding. Katsudon. 2 bowls of them. Hey, Izuku. Ochako said in a shaky voice. If she hadn't just called me my first name, I would have noticed her shaking a bit more and helped her hold the tray. Unfortunately, I panicked. You Uraraka, what are you doing? I managed to say with a stutter and look left and right down the halls. I'm positive my face was completely red at this point. No one was there, but still. She said on the beach only when we were alone, right? What's with the sudden jump? I just. I made. Ochako said, lifting the tray slightly higher, now looking down at the floor. She made. Made what? I look down at the tray and see the bowls of katsudon. Did she make this for me? There's 2 of them. Did she want us to eat together? Suddenly my nerves went away. Ochako was still trying to support me and I was sitting here leaving her at the door holding the tray off food, letting it get cold. Even I could see the embarrassment in Ochako's face. She's doing her best. I smile, taking the tray away from her shaky hands. She looks up in surprise, arms still held up as if she was still holding the tray. Would you like to come in and eat with me? Ochako's eyes light up and a big smile grows on her face. Yes. I step to the side and let Ochako into my room before a mental brick falls on my head. My room is all might filled. Wait, URARA. Too late. Ochako had already found a place on the floor against my bed and was looking around in curiosity. Not only had I not planned for a girl to be in my room, I hadn't planned for Ochako to be in my room. Usually when we studied we were in Ida's room to focus or, more commonly, in the living room or classroom. The only other time Ochako was in here was when we had the Dorm King room competition and they weren't in there for very long. It was also a group activity so the focus wasn't on her. Wait. Aren't we just best friends? Why am I so flustered then? Friends should accept friends for who they are, but would friends also do what happened on the beach? I mean that was situational, right? I mean, yeah, I would like to be more than furry. Izuku. Mumbling. Ochako said softly, looking at the floor, blushing a bit. Damn it. My Ka-chan side was still lingering a bit from earlier. Sorry Uraraka, I'm just standing here. I closed the door with my foot, allowing the room to go dark. Still holding a tray I walk over to my desk and turn a lamp on enough light to see, but not enough to where I was wasting light. You can sit on the bed if you'd like. As embarrassing as that is, I don't have a table to sit at the bed and my desk took up too much space to add one in, and eating at a study desk wasn't the best idea. Ochako sits up and plops herself down around the center of the bed and waits for me to sit. Promoted stories. You'll also like. Golden, Hispanic, Latina. Femme. Reader. Exizuku. 11.9K324 completed. Heiress to the richest company in the world. The government of Japan has good relationships with your grandfather. It was the duty of the government to save. Feel fear. My dear 21812 MHA story experimented, broken, scared Deku X popular, rich Uraraka, along with jerk popular, rich Bakugo, non-villain, non-bad, teen Shigaraki, and teen popular Rumi, Sordo. The Black Lady of the Night 1.4K11A. Vigilante hero was out one night and saw a person fighting a whole group of villains all by themselves, but the problem is that they're badly injured and no one knows. BNHA. The Paths He Chooses Book 1. A Fate of Few. 157K 2.7 Kits. A normal day for Izuku as he completes his normal routine and goes to school. Along the way he runs into Yui Kodai, a quiet and mysterious girl of Class 1B, they Dream on B. K.6.1K 231 downwards arrow tip rightwards in which a jealous bachelor signs a deal with the devil in order to win over the heart of his first love. Katsuki Bakugo has loved the PR. The Life of 0. 16.7K 480 Izuku. Midoriya wanted to be a hero his whole life and was bullied for it since he was quirkless. Izuku Midoriya was told that he would never get a quirk by his doctor. Revenge of the Wronged Hero who happens to be 0.75.9K91601 could have thought that someone as pure and innocent as Izuku Midoriya would be betrayed by his friends who he thought that he could trust with everything he has. I sit against the baseboard of the bed and hand her a warm bowl. After my slow journey standing around, mumbling and fumbling around, I was surprised the bowls hadn't been cold by this point. I take some chopsticks and take a mouthful of the katsudon. My eyes light up. It's good. I say as I continue to eat. Ochako smiles a big smile. Really, I tried really hard but I was super nervous. She laughed softly, rubbing the back of her head. She gave a sigh of relief. Uraraka, it's amazing. I look at Ochako with happy eyes, but I notice her face had fallen slightly. I give her a confused look. Uraraka, she winced at that. Everything okay? Remember what you promised on the beach? Ochako said, looking away, twisting some of her hair with a finger. My face hardened with determination. Of course, I said. Ochako blushed and looking directly at me with a face of surprise. Then, well, Ochako starts to say, I will save her, I say. Ochako face falls for a split second, and then smiles. Yay, of course, she said with a fist in the air. You can do this, Deku. I furrowed my eyes. I caught her face fall. She called me Deku again. Something wasn't right. She continued to eat her food looking seemingly happy, but I know her well at this point. I know sometimes I can be a bit dense. I'm missing something. Did I promise something else? Think, think, think. I promise. I do trust you, Uraraka. I will, I swear. I remember. She gave a look of disappointment after I had said that. Ochako. Huh. Call me Ochako when we're alone, she says. I'm sure Mina will tease us, and even if we didn't, it would be embarrassing for others to hear. But alone. Call me Ochako. Okay. Okay, yay. I will Arara. Ochako. I forgot. It had only been a day and I forgot. No, no, I didn't. I've been calling her Ochako in my thoughts ever since then. I've just been too embarrassed to act on it. I look at Ochako, who's now focusing on the green tea side drink, the beach, the food, and pretty much supporting me through this past year of UA. I haven't been nearly as supportive. I've been so focused on being a hero. I haven't noticed what my best friend was trying to do. I don't know if she fully likes me or not. But even I can tell that she's trying to get closer to me. Being a hero is important to me. I will do everything I can to be a hero. But that doesn't mean I throw away my friends. I can be a hero and have this. I just need to balance it. I look back at the bowl. What about the girl though? I have to put everything I can into the mission. Can I let this happen now? I look back at Ochako, who couldn't hide the slight disappointment in her face anymore. She has to focus on the mission too. But Ochako works hard at her dream. And she still can make time for this. Even if it's a slow process. She at least started. Even if I can't start now, I can at least prepare. Thank you, Ochako. I say with as straight of a face I can give. I'm not the Deku Ka-chan used to describe me as. I'm more confident now. I know I am. I've grown to be able to use my power and rise into Ua. I can make progress with this too. I just need to put in effort, just like with controlling One for All. Ochako's face shot up and looked me right in her eyes. She blushed a heavy red and I'm positive her hair rose a few centimeters in the air. I'm sorry for not realizing. You're trying really hard, aren't you? I said with a nervous smile. Please be right. Ochako's eyes started watering. Not right. Not right. Am I that bad at reading signs? Why would she want me to start using her first name though or cook this for me? Or the beach. Is this what mom meant by girls are hard to understand? Am I mumbling again? Thankfully I wasn't this time, but I was still confused. Did I misread? I didn't find the courage just to make things awkward between us, did I? Uraraka, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. No, she yelled with wide eyes leaning towards me. No. No what? Ochako sat back and wiped her eyes away with a smile. No, you didn't misunderstand, she said, looking back at me, failing to wipe all of her tears away. I would have thought you would know the difference between happy tears and sad tears, Izuku. I thought I would have blushed at that, but honestly I was more surprised that I didn't notice. She wasn't exactly wrong. I'm sorry, throwing this all on you last second. Especially with everything going on. She got up and took the tray with her empty bowl and cup with her. She reached out for my bowl and cup. I shakily give them to her. She walks over and sets the tray down on the desk and walks back over. She sits on the edge of the bed. Notably closer to me, she looks at me, then blushes, and scoots back until her back is against the wall. She then folds in her legs and brings her knees to her mouth. Last night, I wanted to be there for you. I saw how distraught you were over that girl, and when you walked off, I was afraid. Afraid that you were hurting yourself or that you would push yourself too hard. I look at Ochako, taking in every word. I admire you so much. At this point, the red in her cheeks were basically glowing. I admire how hard you work and how much you want to be a hero. I knew saving that girl would push you into training even harder. And that part of you is amazing. But, I have seen you hurt yourself. I knew exactly what she was talking about. The amount of times I broke my arms and hands using my power. I wasn't just worrying my mom and All Might. I was worrying my friends too. I worried Ochako. I followed you to make sure you were okay. To comfort you. I know you struggle communicating with others when it comes to personal things, and, well, I want to be that person you can communicate with. I guess after that night though, I guess I also realized that I do the same thing. She buried her face in her legs. I liked the feeling of you holding on to me. I liked being close to you, sharing a moment. I want to share more moments like that, even when you're not sad. I know you want to put everything into being a hero though. I got a little selfish. I don't want to distract you. But, I thought to myself maybe it doesn't need to be a distraction, maybe I was just making an excuse. The longer she talked, the quieter she got. But I understood. So she thought about all that and kept it all bottled away. I thought the same thing about distracting her and myself with it, how it couldn't work. But the beach and now show that, if anything, I'm more focused and eager to save Eri. To save her because I failed, and to show Ochako that she helped me, and that I can do anything with her support. I wouldn't be able to function as well if Ochako hadn't been there. I'm not perfect and I'm still angry with myself. And a bit more impulsive, like Ka-chan said. But better. I move and sit directly next to her to where our arms are touching. I inhale sharply. I didn't mean to get that close. Ochako squeaked from in legs. But she didn't move. Neither did I. We can do this. Focus on saving Eri first. That's our jobs as heroes. And after I will push forward with her. I will survive. Ochako. We have to focus on saving Eri. Ochako dipped even further into her legs. I know. I'm so. But, after that, Ochako rose her head just slightly. I want to grow closer too. Ochako grabbed my arm and pulled us closer. We were nose to nose. I felt the burn, and if I hadn't already steeled myself, I'm sure I would have screamed. You're sure? Ochako. Wah, are you sure? Ochako's eyes were serious. Nervousness was gone from them and only determination was left. Her grip on my arm didn't falter. She was serious. I know your dream, my dream, comes first. But, I will be really trying. We'll be together. Not like dating. But working to maybe get there. I don't want to make you nervous or uncomfortable, but it's what I'll do. I'm a lot. I know. I can be clueless at times. I instinctively put my forehead to hers, which instantly stopped her. Huh, so this does work. If only it wasn't this embarrassing. It's okay. I understand, and I'm sure. I say, still forehead to forehead, looking her dead in the eye, trying to match her serious eyes from before. Now they were just full of surprise. Oh, okay then. Ochako says as she scooted closer, still holding on to my arm. I heard her take a sharp intake of air and then laid her head on my shoulder, with maybe a bit too much force than necessary. We sat there for a few minutes in silence. Ochako relaxing a bit as time went on. I was stiff as a board the entire time. She was incredibly soft, and the feeling of her grip felt nice. So why was this so nerve-wracking? Hey, Izuku. Why yes. Did I already screw up? Did I make her uncomfortable somehow? I hope I didn't. At the beach, during your moment, you said something about your childhood. I tensed even more, but not from Ochako's touch. What about it? I asked nervously. I know you must have had it rough. Can you talk to me about it? I want to understand. Ochako looked up at me and I averted my eyes away. I can't. How could I? It was a hard time for me. And throw into account I have to find a way to avoid talking about one for all. I have to be careful of this, even if we're getting closer. Even if I like her. Oh, Ochako said, looking a bit upset. He grip on me loosened. I didn't like that surprisingly. After I save her, I say quietly. Ochako perked up again. I've gotta focus on saving her. I can't unpack that right now, but I will. After I save Eri. I look at her with promise in my eyes. Ochako takes a sigh. All right then. Also, Izuku. Yes. Do you, have a shirt on? My face burns furiously and look down. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Third person. Mina, Suyu, and Tora were all in the common room, watching a drama on the TV when they had heard a muffled scream. What was that? Tora asked, her floating shirt moving up just a bit further off the couch. That sounded like Midoriya, Ciro said, walking towards them from the kitchen with a drink. Do you think he's okay? Ribbit, Suyu asked with a finger to her chin. Trust me, everyone, Mina said, lifting the TV remote and turning up the volume, with a evil smile. That's a scream of joy. Kenlair here. Thank you again for reading this chapter. Of course, Ochako went in confident from last chapter, but when does that confidence ever actually stay when you're about to confront your fears? If anything, even if they still haven't completely acknowledged each other liking the other, they are making an effort to grow. But, Eri comes first. I hope you enjoy the next chapter. Kenny Boy, where stories live. Discover now.